So, Andre, familiar face to those of us who've been involved in this sport for a while. He's 30 years of age now, Andre. 7th in Europe this year. And well capable of 180. Like to see him go a little bit further than that today. That's good. Yeah, Frank Mantek, the man looking after the German squad as ever. 176. Probably quite a sensible opener there for Andre. Confidence building lift. And there you can see the competition hall. Lots of flags, but not so many people. It's, in one sense, David, lacked that sort of atmosphere. The people of Doha haven't exactly flocked in to see these championships, which is a pity, because over the past 8-9 days there's been some really good lifting, particularly in the women's division. So it may well be that nobody else wants 176 kilos, which gives me an opportunity, David, to bring in an email from Ben up in Glasgow, dropping us a line at question@weightlifting.de. David, what was Ben's asking your weight classification, and what were your best ever lifts?
Best ever lifts. Well, I used to lift in the old 75 kilo class and 82.5 kilo class, and as a 75 kilo lifter, my best lifts were 155 and 192.5. And lifting as a light 82.5, because the category used to be 82.5, it's now 85. My best snatch was 170, and my best clean and jerk was 207.5, although I was always sort of lifting underweight, as it were. I was always kind of between the two categories, so the new 77 class would have been absolutely perfect for me.
There you go, Ben. I hope that answers your question. And straight on to the man from Egypt, 25-year-old Ibrahim Morsi, opening attempt here. Bismillah. Quick look at the clock, plenty enough time. Still 20-odd seconds. Down to 10. Coming to 5. Needs to go.
Well, when he did go, there was plenty of power there.
Just at 178 kilos, just a little bit of heart palpitation for his coach, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting what you're saying about the hall being empty. I think they've obviously spent some time with the organisation, but one of the areas that they fall down on is the sort of PRing and the marketing.
Well, the presentation
event.
I mean, the whole thing is, I always think that weightlifting is, or could be, very much theatre in the round. And what you need to do is to bring the lifter close to the people and the people close to the lifter. You need to have this sort of theatrical setting. And I'm less a fan of all the VIP chairs and more a fan of, engaging the interaction between, the fans, the spectators and the lifter.
Yes, it'd be more interesting in a sort of Colosseum type
Absolutely.
setup.
That's what we try to do in Europe. Robin Doleja, good start for the pole. And we'll be trying to do that in Chetniewo in Poland come springtime next year. 179. And these are intelligent starting lifts, particularly for Doleja, who's had a bit of a problem in the last two major championships, the last World Championships in Vancouver and also at the Olympics, failed to get a total. So very important to get a decent start. Alan Naniev, 6th in the Olympics. This man from Azerbaijan capable of 190.
First attempt at 180 kilograms.
And just a pause at the moment.
Is the defending world champion as he won in 2003 in Vancouver.
So the defending world champion coming in at 180. And this is quite interesting, David. I was wondering what he was going to open up on, simply because when he won the world title, he snatched 195 kilos. And though he didn't get a total in the Olympics, he snatched 192 and a half.
He had to work for that.
He's, of course, one of that group of Bulgarians who were transferred for that $1 million fee after, or should I say before, the Sydney Olympics.
And it's strange, isn't it, that he too is down on his lifts. I know he's lifting for Qatar, but he is actually Bulgarian.
Bulgarian by birth. And but the reason I'm interested about the 180 there, which he's got, of course, is that that's what he finished on in the Asian Championships, you know, not so long ago in Dubai. So to see him starting on 180, I think he's going to find it tough to defend this title. Now, Andre. Yes, come on, that's it. Right, so he's made the lift he was absolutely sure he could do. He's now made the lift that he really ought to do. The next one is into new territory.
Yes, did well to hold on to that.
They really steadied in that bottom position, but the drive up when ready was good. Just looking at Frank Mantek there.
He looks like he's trimmed down and sort of got himself fit.
Absolutely. I think he's had a few days on the beach as well.
Yes, he wasn't in the best of health the last time I saw him. I think too much good food and too much drink. Perhaps he's seen the error of his ways.
So 182 kilos going on the bar here for Moussi of Egypt. This is the man who used almost every second of his minute. So goes through the preparation, which includes, in a sense, I guess, for every weightlifter, something of a ritual. It's different for every man. Well, there's the 30-second buzzer.
Check the clock.
Checks it again. Now, is he going to follow the same pattern? The chances are he will. Have another look around about 10 to 8 seconds. There it is, 8 seconds, right on the mark. Lifted about 4. Yes.
Well,
I don't think it's the best use of the time.
I can't say he rushed it.
No,
because you focus your attention and then you lose it again by looking at the clock.
Yeah.
I think he's strong enough to do it.
Oh yeah, I don't think there's any question about that, but I absolutely agree with you. Those two diversions, when you hear the 30-second buzzer, and really once you've got that, you shouldn't be looking away to your right, because whatever you say, you're absolutely right. It does distract you. So 182, he's going to have to, well, he could come back for more, but we just have to wait and see. Poland with Robert Doleja, the Russians have got Dmitry Lapikov and also Dmitry KLOKOV. Moldavia, Alexandru BRATAN. Martin TESOVIC, something of an old warhorse at this class, but all too often injured in recent times and not able to give of his best. So 182 kilos for the pole, 3 kilo increase. And of course, the important part here is not to confuse him with his brother Marcin, who's actually the world record holder in the snatch. And Robert's now 10 kilos. Sorry, what am I talking about? 16 kilos off that mark. But a good lift nonetheless. Oh, this man, he's a bit of a conundrum, really, isn't he? Because he's very keen to get on the stage, to get on with it, but once he gets on the stage, he's not very keen to lift the bar. He needs to do this. Well, he's going to be left on 178.
There's one check.
Yeah.
Oh, just one that time. That's better.
So 182 is made. And no one from the B group surpassed 180. In fact, 178 the best, so it looks as if there'll be no infiltrators today from the B group into the A group fight for medals. So, Martin TESOVIC, 6th in Europe this year, but a former world champion back in 1997 in Chiang Mai when he lifted in the 99 kilo class and total 400 kilos. That's arguably his greatest achievement to date. No total in the Olympics.
No, he just doesn't look focused. It was all over the place, really.
Representing Slovakia.
So I think he'd be wise to take that again.
The thing with TESOVIC is it's difficult. He's 31 years of age now, and in a sense, in the twilight years. Andre Rode. Now, what's he going to go for, Rode?
183 at least. Well, I would say, yeah, I was going to say, if he is going for 183, TESOVIC will have to come out again because it's TESOVIC's second attempt and it's Andre's third. But should TESOVIC fail again, then, well, should he succeed or fail, Roda, if he's taking this weight, will be out.
It's interesting. The 180 mark is where TESOVIC has been, whether he was lifting in 99 kilos or a year later in Lahti at the Worlds, like when he was a 105 kilo lifter. He was again 180-ish is where he's always been.
So this seems like a pretty high starter.
Yeah, unless he's in exceptional form, then 180. Now that was good.
Yeah. Very good. So corrected the mistake and able to have one more go at moving forward.
Clean and jerk. The best for Martin, really. 227.5. But, you know, we are talking about the best part of 6-7 years ago for that sort of mark. But maybe he's over his worst problems and on his way back. We'll have to wait and see. Now, 183 for Andre Rode. Weighed in at 104.04. So not the lightest, but down the bottom end of the scale. But that's pretty irrelevant at this particular moment in time. It's lifts like that. When you make them, then the trip seems so much more worthwhile. So he's left on 180. And now Robert Doleja, bar going up to 184. I was looking back at his performances. The best I've actually seen from him is about 187, and that was in Warsaw. What, all of 3 years ago in the World Championships.
Oof. Didn't look particularly comfortable on that elbow.
So 182 is where he gets left. And this competition yet to come afire. Remember, the defending world champion Saeed Asaf, representing the host nation Qatar. What we reckon, David, a pretty modest start on 180, or maybe that was just to, you know, get one on the board, make sure that
nothing. Thought that that he'd have, you know, been in really good form competing at home. 175 on the bar here. Easy.
Yeah, Lithuanian looks strong, doesn't he? Ramūnas Vyšniauskas. And he could well play a part in this. Now Lapikov for Russia. They're double-handed, the Russians. 104.08 kilos, his body weight, when he weighed in just a couple of hours ago. Just missed the overall bronze in the European Championships this year in Sofia.
So I'm sure he'll be doing that again.
Yeah, nobody's, we haven't seen anybody come in yet and get a grip on this competition. There's still a good number. Vyšniauskas, you've just seen from Lithuania, still warming up. Alexandru BRATAN from Moldova. Also KLOKOV and Naniev of Russia and Azerbaijan, respectively, to start. But the 183 from TESOVIC, I think, is about to be surpassed, because I think this man is the man we need to keep a close eye on. There's something, you know, he's
a bit of a character. He always something about him reminds me of the pub landlord, you know, the comedian. Expecting to come on, you know, with a pint and start talking.
So Lithuania 185, this for the lead, weighed in at 102.90. So the lightest man of the class. Not careful enough. Well, there's a lot more red than green and white about the scoreboard at the moment.
Well, it was always going to be a tight competition. A lot of depth in this class.
Yeah, there's only a 20-kilo spread, which is nothing at this sort of weight category, but it does mean there was a big open door. World silver medalist Shmorchkov not here. Sudas of Turkey. Bunyamin also absent. No news, actually. Nothing that we can put our hands on officially after the meetings that have been going on here. So, Moldavia, Alexander BRATAN, first attempt. Steadies in the bottom position. Weighed in at 104.96, so almost right up to the 105 kilo limit. BRATAN, who missed a medal in the Olympics, totaled up 415 kilos, but lost out on body weight to Gleb Pizarevsky of Russia. And here comes the defending champion on 185.
Yes, usually when you've got a defending champion from the host nation, you usually get a big crowd in.
Yeah,
especially if he's the existing world champion. That was better.
Yeah,
it was better than his first.
Yeah, it's the middle of the afternoon. A lot of the official businesses in Doha, like banks and government offices, tend to work early till about sort of 2 o'clock, and whereas private businesses obviously have a break and then come back in later on in the evening. But yeah, disappointing that they haven't. Look at that crowd is predominantly people who are actually involved with the championships. And I have to say that is a problem for weightlifting generally. They're not really developing a product to attract a wider audience. They're not putting on the show which we were talking about a few minutes ago. You've got some fantastic athletes, and the drama that we've seen.
You've got fantastic athletes with great physiques. They don't show the physiques off enough either. They need to build them up a bit more before the competition, turn them into.
Well, people don't know who
characters.
They are. Now this is Lapikov. So the champion on 185, BRATAN on 185, and Lapikov.
Lapikov succeeds on his second with 185.
Again, he's down the bottom end, 104.08, so goes ahead of the defending champion, ahead of BRATAN, so he's got the advantage at the moment. Early days.
That snatch there, he caught it on his belt on the way out, so he needs to tighten his belt or take it off next time.
Now this is a pretty crucial lift. Needs to make this because to give himself one more attempt to try and go with the big boys.
Well, we saw him in the warm-up with 175, looked very comfortable.
So Ramūnas Vyšniauskas of Lithuania, 29 years of age, 185 for the second time. And I'm afraid the European bronze medalist of this season, the man who was 5th in the Olympic Games, who totaled 410 coming out of the B group, is in real trouble. And I'm surprised about that. I thought this man would be a player today. I'm beginning to wonder now.
Dmitry KLOKOV will be the next.
It's a sort of interesting sense you get about the Lithuanian, David, that he in a sense almost wants it too much. I know that's on the face of it a pretty silly thing to say, but you know when you have sometimes somebody who just tries too hard, they actually forget the technique.
Just relaxing.
Yeah, exactly. You get a sort of tightness of the wrong sort. So it looks as if he's going to follow himself, which gives me an opportunity to bring in a little email that I've had from an American soldier down in southern Germany, Corporal Bolling Derek. Well, glad you're enjoying the championships. Your point was that you've been struggling to find somewhere down in southern Germany where you're based to do weightlifting and to work with some weightlifters. Well, I'll tell you what we've done. We've passed all your details on to Germany's Olympic silver medalist and world and European champion Mark Huster, and we've given him your email details, and he's going to try and respond to you directly to try and guide you. He's commentating with former great heavyweight Manfred Nährlinger, and Manfred's from that part of Germany, so it might take a day or so, but somebody will be talking to you on your email. And thank you for watching. Oh no!
So out of the total medals, of course he can still compete in the clean and jerk if he wants to. I'm sure he will want to, because there's as you know, there are medals at stake in both the snatch, the jerk and the overall. But that's a shame, because as you say, David, I thought he was going to be a player in the end because of his strong clean and jerk. But weightlifting is about selecting the correct weights.
Well, it's executing
building a total.
Yeah, but to be fair to him, that sort of weight, you know, 185, you know, he's been there lots of times before. I've no doubt that, you know, that's a weight which he will lift time after time. Now KLOKOV, this is the second of the Russians, 3 years older than teammate Lapikov. Looking for a total of 420 today, so he's one of the more ambitious men in this class. Very low, but nonetheless didn't put his bottom on the ground, so the lift is good. Had a good start at 186.
187 kilos from the bar.
Dmitry KLOKOV coming out of the junior ranks. Former junior European champion, junior world silver medalist. So that was a good step forward. I said he was 3 years older than his teammate. He isn't. In fact, he's only 21. So my apologies for that misinformation. Naniev, opening lift, 187. Representing Azerbaijan.
These men really coming in at very, very high weights.
187 kilograms from the bar.
Seem to be coming in right on their limits, putting himself under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, he used to be a very light super heavyweight lifter until after the World Championships in Vancouver. You know, since Athens he's really come down. I mean, he did 190 in Athens, but you know, as you say, there seems to be some misjudgment here about the opening kilos by quite a lot of these men. Having said that, David, if you look down at Andre Rode for Germany with 180, I mean, he's still only at the moment 6 kilos off the pace, so it is still a very tight class because nobody has actually got a grip of it and started to go away. But there's still opportunities. You've got BRATAN, you've got the defending champion actually, who's got 185, must be feeling actually a lot more encouraged. And you know, when he opened up on the 180, I think both of us, what we did, we looked at each other and thought, you know, how's this man going to defend the title? Well, it's looking that his chances are a lot better than we thought.
Well, he's doing it by getting his attempts in and building a total.
So Naniev following himself, he has all of 2 minutes, but he's not going to use nearly any, well, the majority of that. He's coming straight on now. This is a question of technique rather than strength. Needs to stay calm, needs to execute this in a explosive yet fluent way, and he needs to be precise. Sounds easy, it isn't. Well,
did well to hold that.
He really did do well. It does show you, David, that the man has strength to be able to stay in that low position for quite as long as he did when the bar was wavering forward and back. And he's got himself on the board with 187 at the second attempt, which means he is, at this particular moment, the class leader. Weighed in at 104.66. So incidentally, he's lighter than BRATAN, who has 185. He's heavier than Assad, the defending champion. So TESOVIC
still very much in this competition. Well, he's going to be pleased with that.
Very pleased. 187, David. I mean, that's a superb number of kilos for him to get. It really does give him a platform that we haven't seen for an awful long time. 187. He weighed in TESOVIC at 104.33. Now Naniev, who's got 104.66, it means
so
that they
puts him into the lead.
Yeah, although the graphic said he'd gone second, but once again,
we've learned to ignore the graphics over the last 8 days.
Yeah, it just keeps me running back to the protocol, the weigh-in list which we've got, and I can confirm TESOVIC at 104.33, Naniev at 104.66. So at this moment, Martin TESOVIC of Slovakia leads. That's Robert Deleja already thinking about the second half, clean and jerk, and here comes the defending champion, 188. Now this is 8 kilos up on his performance in the Asian Championships this year. At his very best, when he won the world title in Canada, which of course qualified him to take part in the Olympic Games, 195, only 3 kilos short of the world record. First error. So the defending champion is not going to win the gold medal on the snatch. But having said that, David, he's still going to be very much in this championship because lifts are running out. And unless somebody puts 190, 195, and on the evidence of what we've seen, nobody's going to do that. I think 190 is probably about as far as we can imagine this competition going. Or
well, I think
189 now for BRATAN.
Yes, but and also the Moldavian looked good on his first attempt.
Well, he did. Now, technically, he was very poor at the first attempt.
No, this is Naniev.
Oh, sorry, this is Naniev, isn't it?
I'm talking about BRATAN.
Oh, you're talking about BRATAN.
BRATAN has done 185 a long while back, and we haven't seen him for a while. He actually looked very, very strong on that lift. So he's probably going to come in at 190, and I think he could do it.
So well. he might be the man who could get to 195. He is the heavy man, but on a day like this, kilos on the board mean a lot more. Also got Dmitry KLOKOV of Russia, the man who's just exiting junior ranks. 186 he opened up on.
Yeah, still, and also Lapikov as well. Still has an attempt left.
Gives you a bit of an impression of the hall here. Not one of the world's greatest architectural works. So BRATAN on 190. So I take it from what you just said, David, that this is the man who so far has impressed you the most.
He's looked the strongest and the most comfortable. He's got rather an unusual arm lock. His right arm locks out, his left arm doesn't. He's obviously had some kind of accident or injury at some point. Oh. Well, that's a surprise. I thought he'd do that.
Lifts are running out, but doors are opening for the Russians. Yeah, that was well short of where it needed to be. So KLOKOV, 190.
Yes, he wasn't that solid for me on his first lift. But let's see, but with a bit of pressure off, you never know. Yeah.
Well, that's a new mark and a very important one. A couple of years ago, around about this time in 2003, this is a man who was a junior European lifter in Valencia in Spain, was snatching 170. So 2 years on, he's now added another 20 kilos, which is not a surprise. But we have an intriguing situation between the two Russians. So, KLOKOV, who weighed in at 104.67. This is Lapikov, who's lighter, but not stronger. So he's left on 185. So the Moldavian now, who tried 190, didn't get it. We've also got Naniev. So Moldova. So if he does get this, because of his heavy body weight, we'll still only put him into second place, but it's the kilos at this stage which count. 5 kilos clear of the defending champion, always useful. And this time, does enough.
So it means that Russia have gold and still one lift remaining. So KLOKOV leading the man we've just seen from Moldavia in silver medal position.
It's not Naniev of Azerbaijan got one more as well.
No, he's finished on 187.
So 192.
So TESOVIC managed to medal. And everybody's very, very close. I mean, this is it's a very difficult competition to call.
This would put this man 7 kilos clear of the defending champion, only 21. Technically, he's very good. He's also strong enough, and he's also very much on fire. So 192 kilos. So Dmitry KLOKOV.
So clear lead.
His positioning with the bar, David, on all the attempts has been extremely good. He, more than anybody else in this class, has mastered the technique, and 192 represents a great new mark.
He's been coached there on the left by David Riggott. Lost count of how many world records he broke during his career.
So there you have it, KLOKOV ahead of BRATAN by 2 kilos, then the man from Azerbaijan on 187.
Graphics wrong again.
And TESOVIC
actually
is
got the bronze by virtue of lighter body weight.
Yeah, TESOVIC, just to confirm that, 104.33, and Naniev, I'm afraid, 104.66. Clean and jerk is just 10 minutes away.